The mining tax debate is back on the election agenda this week, with a new advertising campaign attacking the tax airing on TV and radio. Despite the Prime Minister reaching a compromise deal with the big miners over her revised minerals resource rent tax, a coalition of smaller companies still warns its impact could be devastating. Mining is the lifeblood of dozens of communities across central Queensland, and the tax remains a huge election issue there. It could be the deciding factor in the marginal Labor seat of Flynn, centred on the industrial hub of Gladstone. But the local member has also been feeling the heat over the dumping of Kevin Rudd. From Gladstone, Kirrin McKechnie reports.
He calls himself a hard-working local member who gives 120% to the job.
Jared, how are you, champ? CT, mate. Matty, how are you?
Yet Labor's Chris Trevor had to be talked into running again in his seat of Flynn.
The beer at clock time.
It wasn't the pressures of the job that had him poised to throw in the towel, but his loyalty to dumped PM Kevin Rudd.
Every man or woman has their tipping point. Kevin Rudd's demise was mine. It is no secret that I think the way various factional bosses treated former Prime Minister Kevin Rudd was absolutely disgraceful.
It's not just him who thinks so. Chris Trevor says voters in Flynn have told him they're disgusted too.
They haven't got a problem with Julia. They have got a problem with the way in which the leadership challenge happened.
That voter disgust may come as a surprise. Months earlier, people here were baying for Kevin Rudd's blood over his mining super profits tax.
It's a big concern for retailers in towns like Biloela and Emerald and all places in between.
Ken O'Dowd is the Liberal Nationals candidate for Flynn. He says nationally it seems anger about the tax might have abated after Julia Gillard's compromise deal with miners. But here, anger is still just as raw.
She has made some compromise with the big three mining companies, but the other 300-odd mining companies have been out left to defend for themselves. They're not happy. The townsfolk are not happy.
Flynn takes in the mining and industry hubs of Gladstone, Emerald, Blackwater and Biloela. These communities survive on mining and the associated services it brings. Any threat to that, any suggestion mining companies could scale down or pull out is met with real fear. 4 hours drive northwest of Gladstone is the town of Emerald. Here everyone's talking about the mining tax.
Without the mines, we'd just be a farming community, and that's all Australia'd be. We'd be a third world country without the mines.
That's what this town survives on. Mining tax comes in, this town it's gone to hell.
Although not all here think it spells the end of the small community.
Well, the companies do make a lot of money. The tax is fair, I think, within reason. They need to get a little bit back from them and put a bit more back into the country, and I think more into our region.
We're very fortunate that in this part of the world we've got the big mining companies, and it looks like that the big mining companies and the government have reached a compromise. So from our point of view, the likes of Xstrata and the big boys, I don't think there is a problem.
Victor Komenos is the president of Emerald's Chamber of Commerce. He's also the local debt collector. Despite the wealth the mining boom has brought to these parts, he's never been busier.
Well, to be honest with you, business is going very well. It's going through the roof.
He says the real issue for locals is economic management.
It's not uncommon to find houses in Emerald selling for $500,000. So when you have a $500,000 house and you've got, say, a $400,000 debt, well, you don't need much of an interest increase to start giving you a headache. And issues like that are of great concern.
The concerns of voters in Flynn are as wide and diverse as the seat itself. This electorate is huge, bigger than the state of Tasmania, and Chris Trevor and Ken O'Dowd know no one's opinion can be taken for granted in this knife-edge seat. Kirrin McKechnie, Lateline.